Chilean and Latino computer scientists, past and present. The dawn of the computer brought with it change, and for some, prosperity. While the story is different for each country, Chile has a colorful and dramatic tale to tell. The unique blend of political agendas and academic pursuits birthed several interesting developments. From the creation of Empresa Nacional de Computation to Pinochet's coup d'état, the field of computing and informatics soldiered on through each hurdle. This paper argues that presently Chile is one of the most IT-developed countries in Latin America. Much of this success owes itself to historic initiatives like the pursuit of new computers in the 1960s, ECOM, CyberSyn, and industry-leading societies that collaborate with countries worldwide. Indeed, this draws a stark contrast to the Latinos and Latinas in the United States who remain underrepresented in computer science. The 1960s in Chile saw the beginning of computing. And the first major hurdle to overcome was getting the two groups interested in computing to cooperate with each other. Both the universities and administrations wanted to utilize these powerful machines. However, each machine was limited to one type of project because of the limitations of the ER56 transistor computers. Due to the nature of these projects, the two groups used different hardware and applications, and had next to zero interactions. It was not until 1966 that the University of Chile would purchase a handful of IBM System/360s. The new computers were such a technological landmark that during the inauguration of one of the new computers, President Eduardo Frei made an appearance and stated, "It will be used not only by professors, students, researchers, and administrators of this university, but also by government agencies." It was through the versatility of these third-generation computers that allowed both the administrative and scientific sectors to develop applications on the same machine. Per the recommendations of the United Economic Commission for Latin America, the National State Enterprise for Computing, ECOM, was created in 1968 to centralize state efforts in computing. This centralization consolidated the individual components of computer science like mathematics, industry, and electrical engineering, encouraging all sectors which had initially worked independently from one another to collaborate. It was through this consolidation of differing backgrounds that the first computer science degree programs began to form at Chilean universities. ECOM quickly established itself as the foremost computing center in Chile, and by 1971, they were already developing innovative and automatic programs for state agencies. A prime example of this excellence was the CyberSyn project. CyberSyn was implemented by Salvador Allende's administration to forge a socialist economy more efficient than Soviet Russia's communist market. The project implemented a network of 500 telex machines that logged data from factories and transmitted it to a control room in Santiago. However, there existed some far-right supporters who would not take to this new system. A group of around 40,000 truckers would go on strike for 24 days, attempting to interrupt crucial delivery routes via blockades. Ironically, the data that CyberSyn had collected was used to circumvent these blockades and coordinate deliveries with active truck drivers. However, the distaste for Allende's policies would not end there. On September 10, 1973, Allende was preparing to install an upgraded version of CyberSyn, but the very next day would see the coup d'état of Pinochet and his forces. After the overthrow of Allende's government, Pinochet dismantled the project, Congress, and the Institutes of Democracy by announcing an end to elections. Over the next couple of years, he would also replace important figures at both ECOM and universities with military delegates. Despite these changes, the inertia gained from the last decade would preserve the continuity of the computer science scene. In 1979, the Latin American Studies in Informatics was formed. Then, in 1981, the first International Conference of Computer Science was held, triggering the creation of the Chilean Society of Computer Science in 1984. The 1990s would see the advent of the Internet and become the focus for Chilean computer scientists, allowing them to collaborate with professionals in other Latin American countries. The new millennium would see the export of Chilean software and the development of some of the most advanced computerized information systems in the world. Today, Chile has become one of the most IT-developed countries in Latin America, with more than 30 universities offering computer science courses. Contrasting this level of scientific and educational achievement with Hispanics in the United States demonstrates a very different side of the same coin. For the U.S. in 2016, Hispanics made up 65.8% of the labor force, and yet only 6.8% of computer science and mathematics workers. This disparity shows just how underrepresented Hispanics are in the industry and raises questions about inclusivity and diversity in the workplace. While being exclusive has obvious effects on the people who are excluded, a monotone workforce equates to average, uncreative solutions that cater to a specific, potentially fractional segment of their customer base. As said by James Beswick, a writer at Medium.com, we all have different life experiences, backgrounds, and knowledge that combine to give us fresh insights and different approaches. Diversity is difference, and that difference gives us a competitive edge. While progress has been made by major tech companies in recent years, the Hispanic population remains underrepresented. If the history of the computer in Chile is any sort of indicator of success, the introduction of more ethnic diversity here in the U.S. can only serve to improve both the workforce environment and the inclusivity of software. From applications on our phones to software used by the government, the ethnic diversity of end users demands a more diverse group of programmers to cater to this unique blend of peoples.